Sorry, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. That was my own fault. Oh God. Oh, welcome. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I wanted to play it being sick, and I caused myself into a coughing fit. Uh, yep. Welcome to Memorial Day. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was stupid of me. That was stupid of me. I had to right before the stream started. I had to take a bit of applesauce. Applesauce. I need soft foods for a while. Again, I just don't want to. I don't want to tempt the throat demons into making me go into a fit of coughing, gagging, and then throwing up. Yeah. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. For anyone that doesn't know, posted on the Discord already, I have finished the Chapter 7 rewrite. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm doing a lot better. Again, I just need whatever the throat is. Because, again, I'm not feverish. You know what I mean? I'm not, like, sweating badly or, like, got the shakes or anything like that. No, no, no. Unreal 6 is already announced before. Like, with, apparently, Rocket League. And it's like, oh, joy, more AI slop engine. Hooray. Unreal Engine 5 is terrible. Unreal Engine 6 is probably just going to have more AI in it. I have no idea why. They're like, it's like sunk cost fallacy, right? Let me plug my phone in. They're like, hey, AI has been dog shit this whole time. Let's double down, triple down, quadruple down. We need to make sure we get all of it. Yeah, that's what it feels like if they're accelerating towards the crash. I'm looking forward to it. Epic has been a fucking disaster, and Unreal has been terrible. Sandbox is in a rough state, by the way, which is a shame. Oh yeah, I agree, Threadnut. Unreal Engine 5 is used because it relies so heavily on AI for everything, and frame generation. It's truly shit. And Unreal Engine 6 is no different. Remember Nvidia's presser, where they were talking about, like, they're trying to hype up how good AI was, and they showed it in a FIFA game, and it was a mess. It looked awful. It was absolutely horrible. Yeah, Sandbox is still raw. I'm gonna give them time because it's still in a raw state, right? And this is now the floodgates are fully open. You know what I mean? So, I'll give them time to fix it. And plus, getting Sandbox and then using Sandbox in order to get Source 2, that's not a bad deal, honestly. AI was too soon and it was created in too stupid a way. Because AI was told that it has to give an answer. It's not allowed to give the phrase, I don't know, or not enough data, or anything like that. Because doing that, while being, which would be honest, would lead people away from using that AI system. Because the AI, well, why don't you know? Right now, I'm just going to go look for another one that knows. That's why AI has, like, hallucinates most of its answers. It just makes it up on the spot. Because it needs to give you an affirmative answer right then and there. That's what it's been told to do. So it literally just makes shit up. And that is the same thing with people like, okay, well, what does that have to do with like AI generated images and things like that? It's literally making shit up as it goes. That was the whole point of in court. It's been proven time and time again in court. What do you mean you enhanced the footage? Right? What do you mean you enhanced the footage? Well, if you can see back here, this Ring door camera looking down the street, you can see 2 blocks away the suspect raising a gun to shoot the man. It's like, how do you see that? Let's see what the original footage looked like, and it's a pixelated mess. Okay, how did you enhance this footage to get the footage you are now? And then you usually have to bring in an expert that explains that the AI is literally guessing about what color the pixel should actually be. So it's literally making up shit as it goes. So you cannot use that in court, right? Like that's we saw it at the Rittenhouse trial, right? We're like, no, you can't use that. And this is fucked on so many levels. But yeah, Rittenhouse was a genuinely like that was a prosecution of pure rogue prosecution and pure like politicking. Thank God the jury like completely BTFO'd them on every single count. But yeah, it's the same thing when it comes to frame generation images, right? What is it? Frame. What's it called in game itself, right? It's frame generation something. It's the same exact thing. The AI is guessing about what's next, which is why you get those horrific smear abominations like you saw in the FIFA demo at the NVIDIA tech presser, where they thought it was so impressive to show off literal fucking Lovecraftian monstrosities playing soccer or playing ball-shaped game, because a lot of times the soccer ball didn't even look like a fucking soccer ball. It was an orb of like spikes and mouths and faces going like on it. It was so awful. It was wild. Well, they want to keep on the lies because it's sunk cost. They have sunk hundreds of billions of dollars into AI, and it being dog shit is devastating. It being absolute dog shit is completely devastating. Oh. So they need to, they're desperate to try everything, be like, no, we didn't waste all this time and money. Please don't fire us. Please, board, don't kick us off the projects. Don't bring us up on legal proceedings. And remember, there's a thing called AI psychosis now, where people legitimately think ChatGPT and shit like that are smart. They don't realize that they're intentionally, like, they're completely fucking stupid. They're dumber than a normal person is. You have to be fucking careful. Like, you can ask them basic bitch questions like, what's a synonym for, like, gray or something like that. You can ask them stuff like that. That's fine. That's not like world or like life ruination thing. It's not like, you don't ask them like, is my boyfriend cheating on me? Here's the evidence. Yes, your boyfriend is absolutely cheating on you. Go kill him right now. It's like, oh my god, no. No, time out, pause. Pause. Especially because you will wildly affect the answers given if you tell it like, you are not allowed to look at Reddit or Twitter or Blue Sky. And then its answers, God knows what its answers will be. But like, depending on where you said, I want you to only look at Reddit, I want you to only look at Twitter, I want you to only look at Blue Sky, you will get wildly different answers, and it will say it with complete confidence. It's just fucking absurd. At my college, who will look up shit on ChatGPT, then act like they found the secrets of the universe is frustrating. Oh, 100%. And you point out, like, you should point out to the fact that ChatGPT lies 60% of the time. Because it doesn't know the answer. And it just makes up an answer on the spot. But again, the people at your college are just being lazy. They just want to be lazy. They don't want to look. Ugh. Anyways. Where's chat? Right. We got a lot to go through. Apparently, chapter 7 felt long, but if I look at chapter 7, starts on page 90, ends on page 103, barely into 103. It's like 102. So it was only 12 pages long. It don't feel like 12 pages long, but there's a lot of like descriptor text everywhere. So that makes it feel like when writing it, it felt long as shit. Here, no, here it doesn't. So let's go into the second half. How many pages in total? We are 322 pages in total right now. That number's going to get much higher. There's an entire chapter I need to add in. And again, these rewrites are adding in a lot of descriptors, a lot of like making sure the information is accurate with everything else. That now that we've come all the way, we now know what the foundation fully is. We need to make sure the foundation's solid. So we're 322 pages now. Sorry, I'm having a Vicks VapoCool Severe Menthol Oral and Anesthetic. Oh, it is an anesthetic. Oh, I guess that does explain the numbing effect. For like one chapter, right? What? One chapter? What? You mean 13? Yeah, 13 pages for one chapter. 12, more accurately. 12 and some change for this one chapter. And then the book itself is 322 pages long. And we're starting the chapter 8 rewrite now. We're going through each chapter has to be rewritten. Because now we basically have the framework in. Now we got to actually fill in all of the details and groundwork. Well, let me see something here. I'm curious. Our word count at the minute. 150,528 words. Display word count while typing. Oh, fuck no. Oh, good lord. Alright. Let's actually get to it. Also, this should have changed properly to not have the smiler in it anymore. I think this changed properly so it doesn't have the smiler in it. Because I want to redo the smiler. And I do want to redo the Yalder-Scald. Yeah, there we go. Good. Good. It's just all 5 of the casts now. Yeah, the Yalder-Scald, I just feel like it's not clawy enough. It looks too artistic. The rest of the stuff actually looks like claw rips. Maybe not the Spea's Outer Moon. I might make that thicker. But other than that, that's a lot different, right? I think all the rest of them look great. I think the Wrecker is my favorite. The Damari looks the most tonally perfect. The Wrecker, I think, just looks perfect. I think the Wrecker's my favorite by far. Alright. Anyways. Let's do Chapter 7, Part 2, shall we? By the time William and Samantha pulled into the visitor center, there were already a dozen rangers, 2 ambulances, and even a pair of squad cars from the state police. The obvious logic was Will wasn't called out here until after everyone else was alerted, but even so, he felt a strange apprehension about the situation. For her part, Samantha was feeling the same way, but she took a deep breath and looked over to him as she offered up a smile. Well, this is certainly going to change how other officers view the NDA, right? Her obvious sarcasm and smirk made William let out a soft chuckle before the pair of them got out of the car and approached some nearby rangers. His eyes went from them directly to the car parked nearby with one balding spare and a heavy flat tire. He also noticed that one of the ranger trucks had a long skid mark behind it where the brakes had been applied heavily. One of the rangers... I've said rangers a lot. Let me change this a little bit. One of the men on perimeter duty. There we go. Just so we break up saying the word ranger so often, so quickly. Even though it's appropriate, let's break it up a little bit. One of the men on perimeter duty held up a hand and was about to speak. William simply turned his focus back to the man and nodded his head. I understand what you're about to say, but we're with the NDA. The ranger fumbled a little and then furrowed his brows before he glared more intently at the approaching pair. And I'm sure you got some sort of ID to back up such a bold claim? William offered a smile and a curt nod again before patting his chest. I do, but given the situation, I figured it would be best to announce it first, then ask permission to retrieve it from my coat pocket. In the interest of keeping things here calm, of course. The ranger kept his eyebrow raised but nodded his head, though the right hand did carefully come to rest on the back of his sidearm. The other forest officer. Maybe forestry. Yeah, forestry. Though his right hand did carefully come to rest on the back of his sidearm, while the other forestry officer took a couple steps to the side and did the same. William then slipped his right hand in his coat and retrieved his ID from the breast pocket therein. His movements were slow and steady, with no sudden snaps or jerkiness. Special Agent William Lowell, NDA. This is my partner, Agent Samantha Baker. Samantha smiled at the introduction and turned to note the rose petal badge she wore on her belt. This then made the rangers groan and slowly start to ease off their firearms and step back closer before one of them sighed. We'd say more, but we signed one for sure. Samantha gave a warm smile, and though the first ranger rolled his eyes a little when he checked the ID, the other one at least chuckled a bit at her joke. I gotta fix something here. This second ranger is the one that then spoke up. I was always curious. Why do some of you have special agents and others are just agents? This then brought William back into the conversation as he stowed the ID and nodded his head. It's a fairly common question. There's no harm in giving the general answer. It's based on what you're specialized in within the agency. Some fields are deemed as more valuable within the cogs of the machine, and thus you're known as a specialized agent, and thus get the title Special Agent. The ranger shrugged some and looked between each other, for the first turned on his radio and called in to let those on site know of their arrival. This made Michael grumble loudly and pinch the bridge of his nose, something that Steve nodded in agreement with. Fucking spooks, Great. Jennifer looked between the two rangers and was curious why they were so apprehensive. She then turned her head and gave a nod to a paramedic who brought her a drink, assuring that the woman was taken care of. Well, hope they don't feck around too much. I want to go and get some sleep. Don't worry, Mikey. We'll try and make this smooth. Hopefully this won't turn into a quagmire of stupidity. Michael was about to give a nod in agreement, but then tilted his head when he saw something curious. That damnable spirit bird came flying through the opening of the broken doors and came to sit on the ranger's shoulder, who did his best to try and ignore... bird again, I should say the pest. Or the pesky parrot. He's a raven, but still. I think calling him a pesky parrot here would be better. It would be more amusing. Very good. Dead Smiler. Very good indeed. She'll be pleased. By Miraxis, why was this bird brain here now? Michael wanted to shoo the ender away, but he was trying to figure out a way to do that without looking like a crazed idiot. He didn't need this spirit here trying to talk with him while he was still trying to put on this farce. Yet he was clearly in the middle of a game of scheming Ander and was along for the ride. Samantha and William walked into the front of the visitor center, carefully stepping around the broken glass as best they could. Both of them had the same exact thought jump to their mind, questioning why anyone would bother breaking into a national park visitor center to begin with. I accidentally put jumped to their mind. Whoops. The second question came rapidly to Samantha's mind as she looked... oh, shit. Hold on. Oh, excuse me. Oh. The second question came rapidly to Samantha's mind as she looked over the rangers standing inside and then snapped her fingers. What's with the bird? This simple question instantly caused Brightbeak to peck Michael in the cheek, which made him gasp in alarm. He then flashed at both the agents, who shielded their eyes, as did Michael, which made everyone else look about to find why they were acting so weird. While the three of them were cowering, Brightbeak took flight off of Michael's shoulder and flew directly past Samantha, all according to his designs. Maybe his own designs, let's put that. As Samantha recovered and checked on William, they both had turned their gaze directly to the ranger, who also flinched. As the three of them locked eyes, it was obvious that Michael was now going to be the center of everything. Not just a planned facet of the cover-up, but now directly in the crosshairs. Good morning, Ranger. Hope you don't mind, but our higher-ups set down a mandate. We would like to talk with you directly. Michael closed his eyes and let out a grumble, for he cursed inwardly about that damnable Brightbeak. Well, there was nothing for it but to continue his role in whatever manner the spirits had for him, though he was already wary of being a pawn. Even as the curses were uttered, the Ander bird himself flew up higher into the sky and slipped into the other side through the cracks. This plane was one of movement, the trees swaying as if mirages in the water, while Brightbeak turned from the flowing beams of Soul's light bathing the realm. Instead, he chased after the fleeting trails of the night and the brilliance of Mani as his eyes scanned around himself. So many predators were around, but the quick flash of his beak would set them away from trying to draw the Ander down into their wallowing contempt. They would not bring down a messenger of a divine to their level, and he even hoped they would soon find comeuppance at the hands of the Guardians or greater Ander themselves. Here, though, his speed was truly mind-boggling. As he raced against the sun itself, even as Mani's brother rose in the sky of the divine realms. As he worked his way through the sky, he finally saw the goal of his speed and began to dive down towards what was surprisingly solid ground within this realm of fluidity. These places of solidity were under the direct control of the powerful within the divine plane, and rumor to those that inhabited this realm was that these could be gateways into the true ascended lands. Here on this solid bit of land stood a strange cloaked stood a strange woman cloaked in pure white finery, who was carefully tending a garden of flowers that opened their petals at her approach. "Is the deed done, Brightbeak?" Her words were so soothingly melodic, and carried a hidden power within them. "Of course. The pieces are moving closer as you wished it. I've ensured that he has come face to face with a suitable guide." The woman gave a nod of her head as she looked across the spirit realm and cast a hand out. There, for but a moment, the realm shuddered, and the pale skin of her arm was replaced with silver scales. "I have heard the Emperor's prophecy. His wisdom and intelligence are nothing to ignore, and yet my heart cannot stand to think of him alone." Let me emphasize this, him, so alone. There we go. Again, I don't want people to get exactly who she's talking about, but be able to put it together. "I understand His Imperial Majesty's worry, but the longer it takes, the more damage that could well be done. It is time at last to look upon his true face." The woman's body began to glow brighter as more of those scales became obvious, and she soon extended a finger out for Brightbeak to rest upon. As he did so, she leaned in and whispered to him the wisdom of a divine dragon. She spoke in mysteries with such potential and deference that it made Leander shiver from her very words. If this portent was true, a terrible eve was approaching the world, and all would be made to bear witness. Michael was carefully mixing up some coffee in the break room, even adding a few hisses and winces to play up the bruising he had received. He wasn't sure if the two agents were buying the performance, but he couldn't drop the act in front of them, even as he worried about their current positioning. One, the man, was standing against the door, thus preventing anyone from leaving or entering, while the woman was settled in a seat. I'll get rid of one there. That seems silly. The man was standing. Yeah. That's better. Was settled in a seat furthest from the door at the break room table. This had been done deliberately to make sure that the ranger couldn't keep his eyes upon both of them at once, which seemed very fitting for the fucking NDA horror stories he had heard. "You seem annoyed, Ranger. What's on your mind?" The woman's voice was calm but very cold, and direct even as Michael turned to face her. "I've been shot, lass. Have some wee bruises, foreman, and nae tatter. And nae tatter I'm cleared by EMT. I canna go home to relax because the government spectres come crawling in. I think I got a right mind to be annoyed, especially with you flashing that badge around." Samantha didn't heed his words at all, and instead carried onwards with her train of thought. "That is quite the accent. Your family fresh to our shores, or?" "Me family is very tight-knit, and been here for generations of kin. That being who taught me, I kept me manner of speaking, for that heritage was carried on through me." All that being true, it was not the totality of it, for even one generation back was a long, long time for the Wolvaran, barring extreme misfortune. To be fair, there was a lot of misfortune, for the world had so many woes and threats to its existence and those within it. His personal lineage went back to before the founding of the Republic of Rosentia itself. The second truth was more personal, for he simply enjoyed the accent manner of speaking more than Rosarian, and it was some small way to stand out amongst the other wolves in the tribe. Oh, fascinating. Samantha was about to continue, but Michael once more stepped into the fore. You could check if ye be keen, but I already had to have such done to even become a ranger. Your lot may have forgotten, but 'tis be a federal position tay. Michael furrowed his brow and slowly came to settle in the chair opposite of her, offering out a cup of coffee. The woman graciously accepted, but slid it aside before she clasped her hands together. Tell me about the bird. Ranger tensed up some at first, but did his best to relax back in the seat. He wasn't sure how she could see it, but it was clear Brightbeak was visible to her at the very least. What bird you talking about, lass? Samantha made a spectacle of sighing before she too leaned back in her chair and made an obvious look back over the ranger's shoulder to keep him nervous. Are we to play this game? We were entering from your beautiful new remodeling efforts, and you had turned your head to acknowledge it. Oh, you tried to play it off. This then got me curious because no one else seemed to take note of the thing save for us. Michael willed himself to not make any movements or try to give away any hint of acknowledgement at all. He tried to remain cold and placid, but instead made a bigger show of taking a sniff and scratching his cheek. This had actually had an unexpected result, as instead of appearing aloof and confused, he instead suddenly caught something in the air. Hang on, I gotta fix this one. Because I did suddenly again. His face turned to that of surprise, and then he tilted his head as if in disbelief. But this had turned caused Samantha to mimic the motion. Far from cold and detached, he leaned in and took another long sniff, which made Samantha pull back from the table, and William to take a few steps from the door. Well, it clearly seems I struck on something important. Nay, it's not be that. Michael's words trailed off as he started to process everything, especially with the words Brightbeak had told him earlier. Why would it have been a tragedy if the woman were to die? And it must have been this woman, right? She flinched at the flash the Ander had given, just as he had, and clearly saw the spirit bird. He could also smell a strangely familiar scent, which made him raise a brow. Do ye smell that? He wanted to try and spin this, because he was not alone with the woman, but his mind suddenly remembered that the man had reacted to the flash as well. That scent he knew somewhere in the back of his mind, but could not place it while he tried to make a show of sniffing at the coffee. I can assure you, if you're weighing any options involving me, you will not like the outcome. Michael heard the footsteps getting closer, and so he carefully rose from the table and turned to look at the man's approach. He had not gotten close enough to the man before, but now as he loomed ever nearer the ranger, ever nearer, whoops, I need to put a breath comma there. The ranger tried to keep up the ploy and even started to ask the man the same question. Do you really nae smell tat? And once William had closed the distance, the ranger suddenly got a new scent in his nose and his eyes went wide. Far from playing up the act, he instead turned to look directly at the man, who even managed to loom over him, and took a few more careful sniffs. It was unmistakable. If I may. He waited until Samantha had stood and nodded to William, who began to step back towards the door, but he kept his gaze on the ranger. Michael, however, kept looking at William and instead blinked a few times. Let's get rid of William here. Look at the tall man. and instead blinked a few times before he spoke up louder as if to chase the man with the question itself. What do you see in your dreams? Couldn't believe he had asked so bluntly, but that scent demanded it of him. He knew it so perfectly, unlike the woman's own, for he had been confronted with it in his daily life. That woman had a vague recollection of the scent being important, but the man's scent was different. It wasn't vague at all. It took every bit of his attention. Listen, pal. She's the one asking the questions. Turn around and... Damn it, this be a question for you to both of ye. He had to pivot. He really only wanted to understand the man more, but something pestered the back of his mind about the woman. Both of them had reacted to the flash from Brightbeak, and recalled a man and a woman standing on the embankment. Coincidences happened, but a man and a woman now stood here, and those scents. Both. Not one nor t'other. Both. Ranger, that isn't how this works. I want to know about the bird. Forget the damnable bird for a moment. I swear to ye I will tell ye about that bird, but first, please. His words trailed off, and he suddenly looked back at Samantha and lowered his eyes. I need to add a thing in here. Yeah, I'm glad. This is why I'm glad to do these read-throughs with you guys. So I'm like, whoa, wait. No, I need to fix that. All right. His words trailed off, and he suddenly looked back at Samantha and lowered his eyes. It had been the first time he broke character and admitted to the contrary of his aloofness. Earlier. He then spoke once more, but the volume of his voice was far lower. Please, answer me question. Be important. Far more than ye know. It may well be connected direct like to that bird. The two agents shared a long look between each other, before finally Samantha gave a nod of her head and smiled. She even walked around the table. Let's make that clear. The table, so she could stand in front of the ranger and help to ease his clearly troubled thoughts. It was a tactic to use when someone was breaking, a lifeline cast out for them to take. I dream of the forests and the trees. Same dream each night for a long while. Haven't even told Mom and Dad about it. Figured they would think I'm crazy. There's nothing more effective as a lifeline than a harmless truth given out. For any attempt at deception could be weeded through and thus ruin the entire point of offering. Be that the truth of it? Oh my god. Man, it's hard to talk with his accent sometimes. Michael stared at her with such intensity that it actually made her suddenly slip the caring facade as she looked worried. She had no idea why it was important and looked at William, who was tilting his head in turn. That's strange. I didn't know that's, Agent Baker. I was going to say the same thing. Night after night, the same dream about the forests and trees. He paused for a time as Michael slowly turned to look at him, his eyes fully open with understanding just on the cusp of creeping in. Do you see the wolves in yours too? No, I don't see wolves. Far from being dismayed at the thought, instead, Michael looked at her once more with eager curiosity as if to place the last piece of a long-fought puzzle. I'll be amongst the trees and hear the call of blackbirds, and then I'll usually be flying up amongst them and through the air and looking over all the trees and streams below. The ranger suddenly jumped back for Samantha, who tensed up, followed quickly by William, who was expecting trouble. Yet the ranger's face betrayed not annoyance or anger, but a strange, joyous realization as he couldn't help himself from calling out, "Ye be a Revoran!" Samantha raised her brow at the word, for she had never heard the like of it, but the ranger suddenly... Whoops. Whoops, that's incorrect. I gotta fix that. Release. Where is she? There. Something. Alright, there we go. Got it. There we go. Fixed. Okay. Oh my god. Ye be a Revoran. Samantha raised her brow at the word, for she had never heard the like of it. Or had she? Her thoughts turned inward as she tried to remember, for there was something odd about the word itself. The ranger suddenly shook his hands out as he looked between both of them. How long have ye had these dreams? What do the dreams have to do with anything? Lass, please. Trust me on this. How long? Samantha looked confused, but then shrugged as she answered the man. A little less than a year, actually. This made Michael smile excitedly before he turned to look at William. And ye, lad, how long? What does that matter? Why are you so excited? It be important. I swear to ye right now, I will answer ye questions because I knew what that stupid bird brain wanted to do. Just tell me how long, please. William looked at Samantha, who was now looking at him in a face that could only be described as completely mixed emotions. I'm not sure. This was a lie. He remembered exactly when because of its direct tie to the events within his life. Perhaps 15 years now? 15 years? Michael suddenly shifted from a moment of understanding and preparing to reveal something wonderful into a state of terror. The wisdom of the spirits had stated the longer one resisted the truth of themselves, the more spectacular their release was. Ruhauer himself had said he had personally witnessed a Wolveran woman named Alexandra, who resisted it for 4.5 years. Thus, this man was a time bomb awaiting to detonate, and the sheer resistance he had put up meant his awakening would be devastating. Okay, Ranger, you're freaking me out. So, let's get back to the bird and table the dream stuff. Ranger simply shook his head and sighed as he looked between the two of them. Nay, lass. Nay, tat be connected together. Ye both be having the dreams, because ye aren't what ye seem. That bird you're so keen to ask about, that be a spirit. Samantha was about to scoff, but Michael raised his hand for silence. I know how it sounds, lass, but the spirits are real. I take it ye were at the base early in the day? What base? William stepped up and looked at the ranger intently. Were you in the truck that was in the light? Aye, ye can see the spirits. Just calm yourself, and I'll talk with ye both. Samantha folded her arms under her chest and then nodded her head. Okay, so why can I see the bird, but he can't? We can both see the light. That'd be because... Whoops. That be because ye not both be the exact same. Ye be a bird, he be a wolf. Samantha rolled her eyes and sighed while William stepped forward and placed a hand on the ranger's shoulder. Are you kidding me? You trying to tell us? Yes, for feck's sakes. Look, I'll prove it to you both. That bird guided me to you both, and he said some things that I believe be very important. But William suddenly snapped and glared at the ranger. Stop making up this bullshit and just... Samantha stepped up and placed a hand on William, who was breathing heavily, all while the ranger looked terrified. Her approach calmed him, and he suddenly felt that voice in the back of his head, a little louder than before. I can't ignore it forever. Well, I think we should hear what he has to say. The ranger started to tense up a bit and looked up at the man before raising his hands up defensively. Is when William himself started to think through everything, especially why he was so hostile right now. Why would this ranger just throw this out there when the pair were coming to investigate a simple break-in? None of it made sense, and this was more likely to be real, right? I'm sorry. I'm strangely apprehensive. William hadn't felt this way in a long time. Oh, there we go. I gotta fix this one too. I can't resist myself forever. He looked between the two of them and offered a bow of his head. He could feel a strange sensation gnawing at the center of himself, and had to refocus and tamp down that desire to lash out. You're right. We should hear what he has to say. Willful ignorance can lead to problems in the long run. I agree. As long as you aren't going to try and run off or do something stupid. We'll go with you, and it should be obvious that I have a lot of questions. I knew there was a line I was forgetting to. Fuck! Man, I have a lot of fuck-ups in this part for me. Jesus. Normally I'm a lot better at this. I should have reread this through a few more times. Alright. There we go. Yep. Okay. Michael nodded his head and slowly started to move towards the break room door. I'm sure you do, lass. It's going to sound weird, and I can't answer everything immediate like. But perhaps give you both a bit of guidance. This must have been what the Ander wanted from him, and likely the outcome that Monty herself most desired. It certainly sucked to be the plaything of greater forces, but he just had to accept it. Thus the three of them started to leave the break room, which got Jennifer to stand up and walk over to them. Michael looked her way and was hoping she wasn't about to do anything stupid. That hope was a fool's one. She came straight over to them and called out, Is everything all right? What's going on? Lass, everything be all right. Just wait. And who is this? William looked at her and then raised a brow and stepped away from the ranger for a time. I was here when those men broke in. With their car, and when the shooting happened. The ranger saved me. Internally, Michael was screaming at the strange absurdity of this moment. She only realized how much she had messed up when Michael pinched the bridge of his nose and closed his eyes. Well then, seems we'll have to stick with us. Oops. I almost started doing Michael's accent here for some reason. Alright, well then, seems we'll have to stick with us for now. We have some questions for you, and for the ranger. William then made a motion of his hand to have her step closer. He then turned and looked at the ranger, catching his exasperated look and actions. It wasn't that William wanted to derail things, but this woman said she was there, thus could be a source of contradictions in the ranger's statements. Michael simply turned to look back at the fire exit and sighed loud enough to be known, before trudging forward. He had already promised to teach her about the world he lived in, and now he had two new students who were far more dangerous. He took in a deep breath, prayed to all the Ander for strength, and deluded himself into thinking that any troubles he would soon face would be relatively minor. Another move was played on the board. And that's the end of Chapter 7. Chapter 7, cover-up. And then it goes into Chapter 8, puzzle pieces, which I've already gotten a few pages written in. Yeah. Now, welcome, Hoodie Man. Sorry, we're in the middle of reading the Chapter 7 rewrite. Fuck. Oh my goodness. Okay. Alright, chat. I know I had to correct some things, but again, were you able to follow along with why the events were happening the way they were? Apart from the errors. Yeah, the errors were rough. I realized I hadn't said that he wanted them to follow him yet, and I was like, oh, fuck. I knew I fucked up something. Yeah. Yeah, basically this is the part where now the pieces, part of the pieces on the board of the game are now getting closer together. They understand, like, you know, Michael, because all Wolverine have heightened senses, he can smell the fact that that they are both different, right? He can smell the fact that they're both not human. Now, Samantha is raven-blooded. However, she's having the raven dreams, which means she's going to awaken, right? And it's the same thing for William. William is wolf-blooded, but he's having the wolf dreams. He is going to awaken. Michael can smell on them that they smell like wolf blood and raven blood. Now, he doesn't know raven blood as well because he's only interacted with a Revoran, like, a little bit. It's not one of those universal things. He doesn't, like, immediately know. He's just like, there's something strange. This scent is familiar. But where? Where would I place it? But it was when he smelled William, that's a smell he knows every day of his fucking life. He knows the scent of the wolf bloods, and he knows the scent of those who are awakening and those who have awakened. He knows full Wolverine. And by the way, William would smell, like, mechanically speaking, William, who was resistant for so long, he would smell damn near like a Wolverine. There's just a little bit off, but he would smell very close because he should have been a Wolverine a long time ago. He's just resisted that long without realizing that that's what he was resisting because he didn't have a concept of it. You know what? I'll go into reading chapter 8 here for you guys a little bit too, up to what we're up to. So chapter 8, puzzle pieces. William remained at the back of the group as they traveled deeper into the woods. The light of the morning sun radiated through the trees and bathed the forest in its warm embrace, as the world began to rouse from the slumber of a cool eve. Were this any other time, the man would have likely confessed to the wondrous splendor all around him and the healing nature of spending time in such surroundings. This was not any other time, and the man felt a deep annoyance working through him, pressed onwards by that voice prodding at him as if to give rise. That paw print was surely a cursed thing. It wasn't. I'm just opening my eyes for the first time. And again, for anyone that doesn't know, the voice in his head that's coming up more, it's his other half, basically, like, now becoming more and more present. That's why it always refers to, you know, I, me, my. You know, it's not a distinct thing. They are one and the same. He's just resisting the merge of his other half, his spiritual side. The special agent grumbled loudly and tensed up, which added to that of Michael's own apprehension, for the man's mood was now a prime concern for the Ranger. It didn't help that Jennifer was here as well, for he had no idea how the two agents would react to what he was going to tell and show them. There was no limit to just how poorly this could go, and a part of him felt bad for the human bumbling amongst giants. Nothing for it but to soldier through and see how more of the pieces would be laid out. Perhaps there was a chance that he could ensure his value to those pulling the strings of the situation. "How much further are we going?" the special agent asked while Michael turned his head back to acknowledge the question. "Nae much further. Just heading to the old drainage shed. Long ago, this was a campground. Thus water amenities and drainage be needed. Once the visitor center was built, that campground was shuttered, but nae the infrastructure. Besides, this gets us away from prying eyes, for me conversation has need of secrecy." William narrowed his eyes and then spoke up once more. "That secrecy include the woman?" The Ranger sighed and nodded his head. "Aye, but nae for what ye be thinking. She stumbled onto all this on her own. That will be explained tae, and I ask ye, Jennifer, to keep quiet while I talk to the Rangers, all right?" Jennifer only now started to realize she had thrown herself into the middle of a mess once more. The group didn't travel much further after they came through a clearing, where a man was seated beside an old wooden shed. Jennifer had met this man earlier, and realized that they had come out to where the Ranger asked Jack to remain hidden. It was then that William stepped aside and placed his hand on the grip of his sidearm while keeping the rest of the group in his vision. "Who the hell's is that? Start talking, Ranger." The voice was no longer as calm as it was before, and instead there was an edge to it as the command was given. This made Michael raise his hands and slowly move to ensure William could keep an eye on both him and the man who now stood beside the shed. "Relax. He be a part of this, Tay. Nay, first I want to make clear. 'Tis wee lass here. 'Tis human knows some of the truth, because she was indeed there for the break-in. 'Tis all ties into your dreams. That bird, why I was out at your base, and to attack on that base." This was a claim beyond the pale, and thus even Samantha furrowed her brow and brought her hand to her sidearm in turn. "Oh, very interesting word choice you have, Ranger. Also a very bold claim. So, start explaining things now while the situation is relatively calm." Michael nodded his head and slowly lowered his hands before tapping his foot some. "Well, that word choice is accurate. That woman is named Jennifer Woods, if she is just a human. Me name is Michael Wolf, with TF's mind. But I am not a human." Michael kept looking at the two of them, turning his head slowly to ensure no sudden movements, as both were clearly twitchy. "I'm only telling ye all this because of the scent I got off ye both. Ye may have some thoughts on me kind, but I assure ye, they are mistaken. You see, me people are wolves." "Bullshit." William slowly drew his sidearm but kept it pointed low as his eyes looked intently at the man in the distance, who was starting to move closer to the group. "You keep the fuck back over there." Michael tensed up some and turned his head before he in turn called out. "Vidic, you do as he says. This situation needs handled with care, lad." The faux backpacker looked at the Ranger and then back at the two strangers who had both drawn their pistols before he gave a nod of his head. As for you, Ranger, we have documentation on your people, as you claim. You're just a human afflicted with a curse, not some different species. Nay, that be part of what I want to tell you about. That be a planted misconception. We call them that has to curse false sulfur in our tongue, or fake wolves in Rosarian. And I said I had proof to all this, and ye both need to understand. I didn't know how, but ye both seem unaware of what ye truly are. Samantha blinked a couple times and started thinking to herself. She had heard the Ranger call her Revorn in the break room, and somewhere she felt she heard the word before but couldn't place it. William, meanwhile, was more annoyed and felt as if he was being played for a fool. I am just ignorant and stubborn. If you got proof, now would be the time to share it. Spouting off nonsense and expecting we will believe it is just... I didn't think ye would just believe it. That is why we're out here. You're one of us. Those dreams are nae just dreams. That is your mind waking to the truth of who ye are. Each species of ordeer in our tongue have dreams associated to the animal they are. Morovin have the bear dreams. Michael then turned his head towards Samantha. Revoran have the raven dreams. And us Wolvaran have the wolf dreams. That is your proof? William scowled and started to draw the sidearm up. I should listen when the truth is spoken. Just because we have some dreams? Nay, Special Agent, 'tis will help. Michael slowly turned and called out towards Vidic. Bring out the poor false sulphur. They need to see him and hear the words from one of their own. As for ye, agents, those dreams are your subconscious mind trying to get you to awaken. To say William was less than impressed would be an understatement. Even Samantha, who had to admit to some strange sense of familiarity with the term Revoran, needed something far more concrete than just the coincidence of similar dreams. Coincidences happened every day, unless it was dangerous to put too much stock in them. If this all came crashing down when the man by the shed opened the door and outstepped that thing. Jack blinked a few times as he stepped into the morning air, and even raised his hand up to shield his eyes. The tattered remains of clothing still hanging to his body as he shakily stepped out from the shack. At Vidic's insistence. It was only as his eyes began to adjust that he noticed the Ranger, the woman, and two armed people standing on the other side of a small dip in the terrain. This had been the first time he felt truly exposed since the chaotic evening had gripped him. What the fuck? Samantha called out. Wait, that didn't sound like Samantha. What the fuck? Samantha called out and was drawing her pistol from its holster while Michael raised his hands up and started to speak. Easy. That be one of your own agents. He was at the base that got attacked and fell victim to the twisted desires of the thing that did the attacking. The Ranger spoke quickly to try and defuse the situation, as the two agents were now squarely focused on the wolf-like thing on two legs, standing by the old shed. He needed something more, and his mind raced for a solution, until at last he landed on it. Jennifer, you still got your mirror on ye? Give it to one of the agents and let them use it. William instantly snapped his attention back to the woman who was with them all, but she had already retrieved a makeup kit from her pocket and held it up. The agent was about to call out for her to drop it, but Samantha instead turned to look at her and reached out to take the kit. It was as if her actions were automated, and her curiosity was suddenly piqued enough that it overrode the training she had received. This made William feel sick, but he had to keep his composure as Samantha looked at the makeup kit and to the Ranger. What is this supposed to prove? Look in the mirror of that kit and get me into the reflection. Samantha raised a brow and looked at William, who was trying to steady his breathing. She had no idea the beating thing in his body trying to untangle itself, and thus shook her head. Lass, I swear to ye both, no one here will touch ye, or even try to harm ye. That wolf ye see is one of your own, and I'm giving ye all to proof. Go at your own pace. We got time. William got a handle on the runaway feeling within his body and began to take more steady breaths. Even back during the war, he hadn't felt such an incredible pressure on himself. But even so, the discipline that carried him through the fighting allowed him to wrangle that pressure. Let him show me the truth of it. Yeah, he needed to see the evidence, as much of it as he could get. Alright, and that's where I'm up to right now in the Chapter 8 rewrite. Well done, chat. Well done. You survived the talking through of the book. For nay, at least. Now, I'm hoping... So, here's my hope with this, right? Here's my hope. Do the actions seem reasonable? Like what Michael is doing, was he making the right call to bring them out here? Was he making the right call to show them the false sulfur? Are William and Samantha behaving logically? Like, I have an internal logic and consistency for them, but I need to know if the readers, aka you chat, if you feel like they're behaving in a manner that seems reasonable, right? Like, are these two just being, like, stupid, or does this all seem fair and reasonable? And I need to know from outside perspectives, because I think they are, but, you know, obviously I'm biased. And just because, remember, Michael is trying to pivot this situation because the NDA are now squarely pointing their crosshairs at him. And he just got stupidly lucky with these two, right? All right. Okay. Good. Good, that's what I want. I don't want it to be like, there's a million other things he could have done. You know what I mean? I want it to be like, this seems like the best option of a lot of really shit options, right? This seemed like there's not like a million other things that he could do. The entire situation is a mess, correct? And again, it is clear that Brightbeak, and it's made more clear for the reader, Brightbeak set this all in motion. Like, it's obvious that there is shenaniganry at play, and things are being manipulated. So, of all of his options, this is probably his best bet, right? Okay. Yeah, good. I wanted to make sure that, again, like I said, I think they're behaving realistically, but I know all the, like, inner workings and details and things like that, right? I need to make sure that the audience thinks they're behaving realistically, right? That it doesn't seem... none of this seems like it's super forced, right? This seems like a natural reaction, or what, like, someone would have as a natural reaction to being told all this. Like, you could argue that they're being, like, too accommodating, but you have a ranger. Remember, a ranger... Michael proclaims that they may have forgotten that rangers are a federal posting as well, but they haven't really, right? They're just, like, trying to be hard on him because they're trying to interrogate him. Oofta. Also, hey, Pip Pip. Also, I'm at my standing desk right now. I'm trying to make sure I stand way more. Way, way, way more. So I've been standing for about about the length of the stream for an hour and 11 minutes. Oh, that reminds me. Hang on, chat. We're gonna do an experiment here. I need to see if I turn on my air conditioning, what will happen. So, off goes the fan. I'm gonna turn on the air conditioner now. I want to see if OBS freaks out. Judging by the microphone, no. OBS don't give a shit. Hooray! So I can just turn on the air conditioner whenever it gets too hot in here. Sweet! Because that's what I've been doing. I ride the air conditioner, right? So I just ride it. You should be able to hear it if I go real quiet. Here, I'm going to also turn this down. I'm going to move the microphone down. Ooh. No, absolutely not. Okay. I brought the microphone way down. I craned it over the desk and down under it so you see if you guys could hear it. And this is when it's being its most noisy. That's really nice. It didn't even get like... Ew. Yeah. It's about as noticeable as the fan. Yeah, it's good. That's perfect. Perfect. Because I'm checking it based off the decibels it puts out on the on OBS, right? That's what I was checking it against. But no, so again, I'm not doing a crazy person thing where I keep the air conditioner on at all times. It's just as I see the temperature rising, I'll turn on the air conditioner. Basically, it'll be like, nope, stop that. You're going back down. Once it starts dipping back down, I turn on the fan instead. Because I don't want to use the air conditioner like constantly. Even at night, I'll put it on just so it's nice and cold and calm in here, and then I will turn it off and just let the fan run with it for a while, and then obviously if I wake up from being too hot, I'll go and I'll just push the button on the AC again. Boop. Basically, I'm trying to baby this thing. And my God, you should see the rednecky as hell construction. It has a slat to go into the window, right? Because this is a room unit. It's not a window unit. But it needs an exhaust vent to go out the window to get rid of the hot air and everything. Because obviously the machine's going to put out heat. Well, oh my God, the rednecky way I had to put this all together. Whew! I used some old socks on the ends because they gave me a thing that is too big for the window. Too big. So what I'm thinking of doing is I'm thinking of cutting that. For now, I've used some styrofoam in the edge, but it's supposed to be much smaller. The other slat, so that you can kind of move it to size. Yeah, that got kicked in the head somewhere down the line. Somebody messed up. But you know, whatever. So I have a rag on this end, shoved up against the rag as hard as I can, and then a sock around the styrofoam on the other end, holding it in, and boop. It's not a perfect seal, but this is good enough for government work. You know what I mean? Because again, I'm not like gonna use the AC all the time. It just needs to keep things here cold, because this furnace, this computer tower that's a furnace, it's too hot. Too hot. Heats up this room real fast. Alright. So, chat, why don't we go into... How about we go into some memeries? Let's do some memeries. So, I've got a sequel to an old meme we did. So, let's do, yeah, we're going to be reacting to some things. I don't know what exactly, but let's do some memes first. Here, let me show you the old one. All right. I'm going to turn the volume off. Here we go. I'll show you the old one first, and then I'll show you the sequel, because there's apparently a sequel to the Gluttonous Beast. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Gluttonous Beast. It somehow got the burger out of his wrapper, and when it realized it still had the burger in its mouth when it was picked up, it just took both paws and shoved it right in. It was like, get in my mouth. My burger. Not my whole burger. Not my whole look. It realized, like, wait a minute, I still have control of the burger. In my mouth, go! Shove it in there. Get it in there before he can take it away from me. Oh my god. My god. So, there's apparently a sequel, but it's not the same cat or anything like that. I just call it a sequel, and it's this. It's called You Cannot Have.
You cannot have an entire loaf of bread. Stop it. I don't care. You can't. Get off.
You cannot have. You cannot have. No. You cannot have. This dubious little creature getting up to mischief. They're doing no good. Yes, what a dubious little creature. The void demands bread. Ah. I thought I had more. I know I had more, right? Oh no. Oh, maybe I should do this template. That could be fun. I have been sent to claim the bread tax. I will be taking that. How to ask, did you watch the new episode of Hunter the Parenting? I did. And I left a message in the Discord that made Jack freak out. But in the Discord I said, dodged one bullet to take a shot to the chest, but at least it wasn't squarely in the brain cage. I'm referring to the latest subchapter of Hunter the Parenting. And Jack's like, Jesus, the first line worried me sick for a short second there. Oops. Oops. Hunter the Parenting is not an anime. Well, actually, I guess it doesn't have anything to do with Japan, but there's an otaku weeb nerd in it. But no, it is a parody of Hunter the Reckoning. Basically, it's all of World of Darkness from the perspective of this kind of like comical hunter family. It's a bit of an animated show at times, yeah. These sub chapters are more like podcasty feel, kind of like a visual novel, if you, as it were. Yeah, this is what Prosecutor Valentine said. But you have the actual chapters which are fully animated, right? Are you a reloader such, or do you just shoot? I mean, it depends on the context. Like, I try to reload if my magazine is low, because I'd much rather have it ready. But if you're in a situation where you can't reload, just fucking swing away and try and get in a better situation so you can reload. I mean, as the creator, they said, No Country for Old Men made by Suda51. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Reload brass. Oh, I do want to get a reloading bench and stuff like that at some point. I want to do gunsmithing and everything, but focusing on the books. Focusing on the books. My end goal is to do blacksmithing and gunsmithing. It's the progress. Oh, one thing I will note. You want the so Dimitri on a notation for you because I couldn't see it on the other wolf. I should have paid more attention. You want the bottom teeth to also be big. The bottom teeth are in front of the top fangs being big when it comes to wolves' mouths. So I'll show you. Okay. So like this. See? Their bottom canines are first. They are in front of the top. So you have the 6 up here, and then it goes into the really big bottom canines and the top canines. Send you those? Okay. I can just send you that one because that works. But here you can see here, but you can it's kind of blocked because of his adorable muzzle. Look at that adorable face. It blocks it a little bit. But this is how it is. Right. Actually, almost the perfect angle too. It's almost the perfect angle for the picture you have, actually. Yeah, I'll show you guys. This is the thing that Dimitri sent me. This is the thing that Dimitri sent me. We're getting there. We're doing the first picture is going to be of a Domari, and it's of all 5 forms of the Domari, right? So it's the Mother, the Ulfhetner, the Wolvarin, the Varger, and the Ulfer. Right? And this is the Domari. They are the average. This is what the bog standard average would look like for the Wolvarin. This is the middle of the road. The Goofy are a bit thinner. Like, they can still be muscled, but they'll look more like athletic build as opposed to more like muscled build. The Yalderskald are much bigger. The Wrecker are the biggest. And then the Speya are the smallest. Kind of look more gangly. They look a little more like, a little more spindly. They look like a swimmer body, right? That's the way, if you've ever seen musculature, a swimmer body is more like that. Yeah. So, I've shown before, we'll do it again now. Here's like the full pose of what it's going to be in the thing. Right? This is the full pose. And this is what he looks like. This is the Mothra form, the human form. This one has the badge properly on the cap as well, which is where it's supposed to be. There's two. This is the rose petal badge. This signifies law enforcement, right? Within Rosentia. If you see the rose petal badge, it means law enforcement. If you don't see rose petal badge, they are not law enforcement. They might still be bodyguards or security, but they aren't directly law enforcement related. But this is why the NDA has their badge and everything like that. I've shown the badge too. Let me show that, and then I'll show you the overall like aesthetic of what the Ulfhetner is. It's not done yet because we're gonna go in and he's going to go in and like shade it and everything like that. But this is the Ulfhetner form. So this is the in between. This is the Beastly Man form. So this is kind of like your classic Hollywood like wolf man situation, right? This is what the Ulfhetner looks like. So, it is something that you will notice if you are up close to the person. You'll be like, you're not human. But if you're standing back, you know, that's one of those, like, it's one of those things where, like, if you're standing back away from the person, you won't notice as much. So this is kind of like they're in between. This gives them a little more, like, it lets them channel a bit more of their strength. They have a bit more of their regenerative capabilities. They can regenerate decently well in human form. Not great, though. Here, they're channeling much more of their regenerative capabilities than in their human form. They get more of their strength. You know, they obviously get their talons and everything like that, but they're not big. They're not thick talons yet. Not like when they're their full Wolverine form. Like, these ones are fully formed. These ones could slash you to ribbons. These ones will just, you know, they'll fucking suck to get slashed across. If you've ever seen a woman actually scratch a dude and she's got those long nails, oh, that's more what's gonna happen, right? You're gonna get slashed. You're not gonna get total lacerations and eviscerated. Yeah, so if you're not up close and if you're not paying attention, you might not realize that this isn't normal, right? It just looks like a dude with more facial hair, stuff like that, right? If you saw him go from this to suddenly looking like this, sus as fuck. You don't change in front of a person. But if you allow yourself, like if the person hasn't seen you or anything like that, and you're in your Ulfhetner form at all times, it's fine. Also, the ears. If you notice, the ears are starting to become more pointed. They're starting to transition into the full wolf ear. And they're getting up higher on the head, where the wolf ears are. Yeah, so essentially, like, and I made sure Dimitri knew that I just wanted a normal, average-looking guy. This guy is a Rosentian Ranger. This is what the Rangers look like. Right? This is the Forestry Department, the National Park Service Rangers. This is what they look like in Rosentia. So if you were to see them, colored, they would have the green khakis and stuff like that. They would have more of like a beige, kind of tan shirt. Their jacket is a grayish color, and their cap is the tan as well. Yeah. So this is supposed to be one of those things where, like, if you're up close and personal, you know, like, that ain't human. That's not a man anymore. Right? But if you're farther away, you wouldn't be able to tell. This is a mock-up of the badge. Hang on. Let me get the correct mock-up of the badge first. So here's the Ranger, and here's the Ranger with the badges properly in both places. Let me get the mock-up of the badge itself. Again, if you're in the Discord, you've seen this. I was working my way through, like, badge designs for how I wanted it to be. This is the full mock-up of the badge itself. Like, the down and dirty, what it would look like, right? If you had your full, like, stuff on it, this would be the department you work for, your rank, your name, and then your exact number. So this is what the rose petal badges look like when they're for the Rangers and stuff like that. This is obviously for the NDA. The coloration is slightly different for each department, but this is the basic, right? Like if you are a federal, I'm thinking about doing, if you're federal, this will be gold. And if you are, or maybe I'll have it be, if you're federal, it's silver. And if you're local, it's gold. I think I might do that instead. I've described it, I haven't done it yet. But basically, the basic descriptor of what it's going to be is that there will be, for the Rangers themselves, none of this is in, none of the text or anything like that will be in it. To show you Rangers, they'll have like Rosentian Forestry Department Rangers underneath, right? Ranger as the underneath rocker. On the image itself is a field going up to a forest, and there is a wolf standing there. That is the full badge, like the full, if you wanted the icon of what the Rosentian Rangers were. Remember, wolf iconography is very important in Rosentia. Very important. It goes back to their founding and everything. The Wolfmen and stuff like that. But obviously, a lot of people just associate that with being like, oh, that's just mysticism and like trying to be more, you know, you're blowing smoke, right? You're trying to be more, mysterious. Our origins are so crazy and wild and stuff like that. And here, by the way, here's the full lineup of how it's going to be. Mother, Ulfhepner, Wolvarin, Varger, Ulfer. I remember Wolvarin is means intelligent wolf in the Dragon Tongue. And IN is the indicator of intelligence in it. So Wolvar, in the Dragon Tongue, this will be a Wolvar. And then because they are actually intelligent, they're all associated as Wolvarin. Yes, the correct way, just like the BSA. Bronze, gold, and then silver in order of low to greater purity. That's actually Eldritch Dragoon. Is that accurate? Because I know that most people know about pure silver, right? But is that accurate? Are you a smart wolf or a dumb wolf? Ouch, rabbit. No, their key definer for intelligence is sapience, right? Your ability to not only recognize that you have intelligence, but recognize what you are and recognize other things, right? So, wolves are intelligent, IRL, and in the real world as well. Wolves are smart. They are roughly estimated to be about like a 7-year-old to a 9-year-old's level of intelligence. And as Oliver the Wolf Guy jokes, you need to think of them as like a 7-year-old with a loaded gun at all times. Yeah. I never know what the thing is, right? I thought sentience was just intelligence and sapience was like full awareness. I need to look up the actual terms. Like, what's the difference between sentient and sapient? Hold on, let's do that right now. Because I always get them confused. Oh, yep, no, I was correct. Actually, I got it right. I got it right. Sentient means the ability to perceive and feel things like a dog or cat experiencing pain or joy. Sapient means having human level intelligence, self awareness, and the ability to think logically and plan for the future. I was correct. Woo! uh, I was right. Hooray! And yes, that is the Boy Scout order. Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. That works out. That works out wonderfully, Eldritch Dragoon. I was only in the Boy Scouts for a while, but I loved it. So many people cheat. I'm just gonna tell you right now. So many people fucking cheated in the Pinewood Derby. I was so mad because I played it legit and fair. I also gouged myself with one of the chisels. But I played it legit and fair. So a kobold would be like a 5 or 8-year-old with a loaded gun. Yeah, basically. But no, so many of those motherfuckers did heavy lead paint and did weights in the bottom of their Pinewood Derby. And I'm like, you're not in the spirit of the thing, you know? You're absolutely not in the spirit of the thing. Oh, I have no idea where that little Pinewood Derby car is either. That was also where, okay, so for the scouts, we went out to a campground, right? And we were going to spend like the weekend there. Lead paint, jokes on them, their children are retarded, I know, right? But we went out with the scouts to a campground for the weekend. And we had a mission at night because they wanted to like show us like how the world was actually still active and awake at night. You know what I mean? This is what happens when you're early in the scouts, right? When you go from the Cub Scouts into the normal Boy Scouts and stuff. So we were out there, and by the way, those uniforms were so nice, and those badges were so fucking cool. I can't tell you how cool it felt to have that uniform and those badges. There's just something like. Anyways, we're out at night, and they have red flashlights and everything like that. And he's like, because they don't want to mess up our night sight, right? Like, yeah. I almost won. I didn't. I got a nice ribbon and a reward for it, but I didn't win. The guy who beat me had lead paint and weights in their car. Anyways, yeah. So we're out at night, and we go off the trail a little bit, and our scoutmaster is like with the red light, and he's like showing all the different like insects and things like that are walking around. And he's got a red flashlight on again, so we don't mess up our night vision. So it's a red flashlight. He's showing them like that, and then he's like, "Hang on a second. Do you guys want to play a practical joke?" And we all go like, "Well, fucking course we do, Scoutmaster. Of course we want to play a practical joke. What is this practical joke you speak of?" And the Scoutmaster goes, "Shh," and he turns off the flashlight. And he's like, "Nobody make a sound." And the other scout group that was coming behind us was like, we should be meeting up with them at any point now. And he goes, "Hey, where are you? Hey!" And they just walked right past us. Oh, it was great. It was like, of course, you're gonna ask a bunch of boys, "Hey, do you want to play a practical joke?" Of fucking course we're gonna do it, right? Worst part is once some people start cheating, everyone has to, or there will be no chance of winning. Yep. Let me tell you, I was not pleased. I got beat by a cheater. A cheater, pumpkin eater. And you know, is what it was. I still did great. I came in second place. I'll fucking take it. Again, I even cut myself with a chisel for that. Damn it. It's amusing that a lot of automotive tech was developed to cheat at NASCAR. That was back when NASCAR didn't have limiters on it. Limiters are a terrible thing in NASCAR. Everyone's like, but you know, it brings the speed down. It makes everything safer. It puts everyone together. Like NASCAR was way more interesting when you didn't have the speed limit on. You didn't have the limiters. It was all pure like your racing capabilities and your machine versus everyone else. When you have people clumped up, NASCAR is very boring now. I agree, Garinus. NASCAR is boring now. Well, I'll say now. You didn't say now, but I'll put now on the end of it. I agree. But the other thing limiters do is limiters make it very dangerous. It's very dangerous to be in NASCAR. Because the limiters make it so that if somebody has a wreck, it's not just one person or two or three. You're taking out a whole swath of people. And pileups are not good. They look exciting and flashy. They aren't good. They aren't safe. Remember, Dale Earnhardt called this out. And then he got killed in one of these. It's like... Ugh. Oh, it's so... Ugh. Yeah. Oh yeah. They're supposed to be dangerous. But again, the whole point that Earnhardt was making was that like you're basically boxing everyone in. You are intentionally creating traffic with these limiters. So you're making the situation way more dangerous than it needs to be. It's the whole thing of where like boxing actually became more dangerous when they did gloves. That's the crazy part. Pink name meme gifts? Weird. So people are like, wait, why would boxing become more dangerous because of the gloves? When you didn't have the gloves, people when they went down, right? When it was just bare fists, a person tapped out much quicker, right? Pugilism was much more about like to the pain. The problem with gloves is that they soften the blow, but not to like your brain. Your brain rattles around inside your skull. You didn't feel the hit as much as your brain did, right? That's the problem. So you get a lot more concussions. People get fucked up real badly. Like sure, in the old fights, you'd have people get broken nose and cauliflower ear and things like that, but they didn't have brain damage. They weren't like destroying themselves for the rest of their life. It's just those weird cases where the safety measures make it more dangerous. It's why MMA is actually less dangerous of a sport than boxing is. Because boxing, so many of those dudes just sit up there and take it and take it and take it. And then you have what happened to, what's his name? There was a guy, his whole fighting strategy was he would take the opponent's blows, blow after blow after blow after blow, and when they tired themselves out, he would wail on them afterwards. Right? Unopposed. I can't remember who it was, but that fucked that dude up bad. And later in life, he stutters. He can't walk correctly. His brain is like just. Ugh. I'm thinking Hesh, high explosive squash head, not squad head, squash. And it's not designed to concuss the crew. That is not what it's designed for. It is designed to create spalling. So I'll show you. High explosive squash head. So this Oh, this is actually a really good image. Just this one image. It's so low resolution. What the fuck? Why is it so low resolution? This is like a 180p video? All right. So this is what it's supposed to do. All right. This is rolled homogeneous armor that it's against. But this is what Squash Head is designed to do. Right? It comes in, it hits, it literally flattens itself against the armor until the point of no return, and it detonates. And so now you have all of this that has now been squished out and forced in right against the armor like a big funnel. And then it detonates and it cracks the armor inwards and creates what's known as spalling. These are thick metal fragments going at incredible velocity inside the tank. Okay? Yeah. Very, very fucking dangerous. Now, Hesh isn't as good against, like, actual ERA, like explosive reactive armor and things like that, or different types of composite and everything. But, yeah, big problem. Hesh is really good at if it hits normal armor, because it could crack it and splinter off big metal splinters inside the vehicle itself. Very dangerous, very bad. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it's not designed to concuss the internal crew. No. It is designed to kill, just like everything else. But it is designed. It's using material science against it, right? Cool. Heat is actually really cool. High explosive anti-tank. Heat is really cool because it's a funnel blast charge. George Foreman, thank you. That's who I was thinking of. Anti-Boy Scout. Yep. And it messed him up later in life. He was rough. There was another guy on the show Contender. He was another black boxer that was fucked up as well. Hang on a second. Old show called The Contender. Yeah, 2005 to 2009. That's it. Who was the other guy? Sugar Ray Leonard. That's who it was. Yeah, Sugar Ray was roughed up bad too. Roughed up bad. For a while there, Sylvester Stallone and Sugar Ray Leonard were both co-hosts on the show for the first season, and then it went to, yeah. And then Sugar Ray Leonard took over from the remaining seasons. Alrighty. Oh, here's a good wolf picture. There you go, chat. There you go. But see, that kind of helps you get how the jaws work too. Right? I already said it. I already said the jaws that work. But yeah, there's a good one. Ah, ah. You can see you have the front four, and then these two, which are normally these would be our canines, and they are called canines. Yeah, and these lower jaws fit in right between this one and this one, right? Whoa, excuse me. Nope, I have not. I've not seen the Grindhouse. I've heard of it. I know the like stripper with a gun or whatever is one of them, or whatever. Machete, I think, was in the Grindhouse set, and then yeah, Hobo with a shotgun. So the Grindhouse was death proof and dust till dawn. There you go. You cannot get the theatric viewing because there were fake local ads as well as the fake trailers, like the Mexican restaurant right next to the theater. That's fun. Planet Terror. Okay. Right, chat, what should we do? Some vidges. Some fun vidges to watch. Oh, actually, I should start my lunch. I need to make a soup. Ah, that's what it is. Okay, Planet Terror is the one with the chick with the M4. Okay, yeah, she was the stripper. I don't know what we should. I don't know what we should do. We should do chat, but first I'm gonna go start myself some soup, and I'm gonna lower the desk too. So hang on, let's lower the desk now. Soup. I need soft things. Bye, chat. I'll be with you again soon. Ah. Okay, now come here, come here. Oh, oops, come here, come here. Yep. Let's clean you off. I didn't realize you had some stuff on you. That's not good. Okay. Right. Hello. Welcome. Welcome. We're now in the seated position. Oh. Alright. Now, go make soup. BRB. I think I'm gonna make, again, it's all gotta be soft soups. But I have like a cheese tortellini, a creamy cheese tortellini I'm gonna try. See how that goes. BRB a momento. Oh, I'm back. Yeah. Yeah. What should we watch, chat? What should we watch? What sounds fun? Maybe another Yamfa video? I love Yamfa's videos, so let's see. How to poop only Dark Souls 2. How to poop only Dark Souls 2. Um, Dark Souls 3, item only. Passwords Dark Souls 2, item only Dark Souls 2. Bloodborne and 2 bosses. No, I'm not like what? I've seen these before. Oh, the Top Gear Dark Souls 1, 2, 3 special is too long. It's an hour and a half. Ugh. In the werewolf expansion of War Tales, they can change when they want. Or collecting bits from their corpses. There's a giant dark force that drives your company insane. Ooh. Rough time. Rough time, to be sure. Alright, let's do... Let's do the Yamfa video. How to poop only Dark Souls 2. That's what we'll do. Yeah. Now I'll have to... Maybe I should wait a little bit. Let me wait a little bit until I... until I have my food in front of me, right? Let's just hang out and chat a little bit. I gotta let it finish cooking. Alright. Your overall thoughts of the last episode of Hunter the Parenting anyway? I said it in the Discord. And it's like, they dodged a bullet only to get shot in the chest. But at least the bullet they dodged was the one that was meant for their head, so yeah. Yeah. As the most recent. I don't want to give away anything because I believe some people here in chat haven't seen the episode yet, and I don't want to give away what happens in the episode. But I'm anxious. I'm antsy. So I was trying to figure out some way for them not to work for the worm. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna. Oh. I'm gonna go check on my soup. And yeah, check on my soup and go to the bathroom real quick. Yeah. And then when I have my soup in front of me, we will be doing a Yamfa video. Because Yamfa's great. Yamfa's fantastic. He always has so much fun with his videos. And I love that he makes them as if you're actually doing a tutorial. Like, he's doing it as if it's a tutorial for how to do this exact thing. So you can totally follow along, right? Brutal. Brutal savagery. Anyways, BRB en momento. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I've got my 3 cheese tortellini here because I wanted to make sure I picked nothing but soft soups. Has a bit of chunkiness to it, but I mean I'll chew down the tortellini, so won't matter. And I brought a cup of applesauce to chase it down. Yeah. 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 Okay, chat. Okay. I'm so lonely. Anyways, this is Yamfa's How to Beat Dark Souls 2 with Poop Only. It is a fecal fun time. That's what we're working with here. And yeah, as Anti-Boy Scout says, you can follow until he hits a dead end. Yeah. Oh, boy. So, let us begin, shall we? In the lovely, wonderful tradition of Yamfa doing a crazy challenge run in a Souls game. Yep, take care, Rapar.
I am so lonely. No one talks to me. No one wants to be my friend. They think I am unstable.
I mean...
They send me from planet to planet committing atrocities in their name. And as I get better at it, they fear me more and more.
Humans would rule the lands left by the sun's rays, and rats, all that was below. They broke their word and hunted us down. Liars all, schemers and cheats. Humans bring nothing but filth. The insolent fools line up to trample upon our burrows. Base
That's a really great intro.
Thou art a fool to show thy face here.
Poop only! Fecal fun times! Blech. Money for poop! You gotta have your dosh for the dookie. Night bonfire aesthetic, the classic. No poison mist. No giving myself 99 poop. Not even fists. That might be a problem. Oh! Neat. We can't spread them. This one's the most obvious, like, kill. Dragon Riders, just kill himself. Whoop. Dragon Rider Slippy!
Satisfied? I'll be around if you ever come back.
I'll be around if you ever come back. Cat ring to survive the fall. Woo! Spam binder to prevent rolling. Okay. I didn't know that. Yeah! 2 dung poopies! We have now won the game. 3 more next in the second bonfire. Now won. Okay. 20 life gems at the very bottom. Again, if you're naked, the thing doesn't hurt you. The rust, or the acid doesn't hurt any of your equipment. Suppose we'll find out. Proc deals 1,485 damage. Plenty for early bosses. Oh my god! You're out of poop? Man, take 6 poop to kill. Run now, go poop. No, poopy! Die. Oh, this tastes great. F4, break reality for poop. Okay. Alright. Stand as far as possible with the prompt visible. Hover over quick game. Enter a quick game. This is the name creation flashes. Okay. Swap character. It is now set to creative mode. Enter, backspace, in, enter. Bonfire Wi-Fi? Oh my god. Game thinks you're resting at a bonfire. Holy shit, okay. Yeah, baby! Bonfire menu is not just for show. Lights that on fire. He thinks the cutscene is playing. So it unloads all walls and doors. Game crash. Oh no, our table! Plan B. More souls. More souls for the scat. Why are there so many words for poop, by the way? Money for the muck. Josh for the dookie. Souls for the scat. Funds for the feces. Ah, butterfly, no clip. So he's gonna do the parry walking. Oh, and with the ladder. Disables parry walk. Tragedy. Absolutely tragic. Up and up. The Vanguard skip, yeah.
Leave this place, human. We have no time for that kind. Thy
You need-
welcome wearest thin.
Don't you need a rat tail to talk to him?
Leave this place.
Huh? What? Huh?
Oh! Oh! Step 5, get a rat tail. There are 3 ways to get infinite poop. You can buy it from the Rat King. Okay. Now you need a rat tail. That boss drops one. I don't have enough poop for that. Fair enough. You can also drop. Oh, good God. Just need 6 poop to kill one. Not enough in the game. There are 5 in the entire world. Oh my God, I wish I was kidding. Speaking of those 5, we respawn them with ascetics. Which means this is farming. Quiz time. Which of these enemies do you think drops poop? I'll say number 1. Oh! From the old Iron King DLC. The other mobs in the game drop poop. Airwalk technique, maximum distance.
I'll have to move soon.
Just skipping the bony boys. So time to land on the bridge. The skelly skip. Flick the stick back after you enter. What? And enter. Oh! Hell yeah. That is a big change. Ladders, you can't use Wi-Fi, have fun. Oh my god. I hated this stupid fucking windmill. Because of that, these enemies suck. Well, thank God you can use the torch. Because without it, oh my god. Needs to be broken. Okay.
You want to climb down here? Hell, of course it's not free.
I'm gonna crash from Last Giant. Okay. Left click, right click, backspace. Spam talk and pay. Straight until you hit a wall. Goon Quest is your name. Wow. That's a hell of an advanced mytho skip. You only, well, yeah, I guess because that cutscene wouldn't play again, right? for poop continues. Oh my god, you're actually gonna do it. Okay. Good luck. So you get one chance because of the wedge stagger. Were there any doors that didn't have the wedge there to stagger them? These fog walls either, okay. Too slow and makes noise, okay. Would that have worked on the first door? Oh, yeah. Good luck. Why are you keeping a terrible place? Oh, who would have guessed? Disable the bonfire Wi-Fi setup. Armor Bennett. Oh, how the turntables! Kingdom Come. Spend 10K for the gold snake ring.
Very well. Pressure. My God.
All this setup just to get poop. All you have to do is run around. And bait explosions. But they're not dropping any items. What? Most RPGs, one way to get items in Soul series is by defeating enemies or something in a Zuli the Witch video. comes from dropping if enemies die in certain ways. Oh, yep, the explosion. Cancel out. Hooray. You're kind of screwed. Thanks, Zuli. For one free dung pie. Prepare to cry, the Rat King. Time and patience. That was only 16 damage, though. Oh my god. Whatever can happen will happen. Oh no. Work for item drops. Poop is not the only thing they drop. Oh my god. Yeah, because if they get up to you, they'll explode no matter what. Oh. So reserve the next month to this or find another way. Get a rat tail for poop. Good lord, I didn't realize how big the giant seeds were. I mean, I know it's a seed of a giant, but good lord. Increases item drop rate and has pretty decent poison resist. No souls drop, sure this means nothing. Oh my god, you've thrown the champion covenant. Now step on him. Oh my god. Can't even quit normally, got all that for.
Sorry, Link. I can't give credit. Come back when you're a little, richer.
Ah, here's some Divinity 2 music. Oh, Divinity, Original Sin 2. I forgot. Divinity 2 is a different game. Ego Draconis, Flames of Vengeance, and Dragon Knight Saga. This is, from This is from Original Sin 2. Oh, he's gonna do the bypass and then go get the... Yeah, he's gonna go get the item that's like 10,000 souls. It's one of them. All of the tracks kind of have it, and a little bit of like a leitmotif. Leitmotif? I don't know how to say it properly. Yeah, but he's doing this is what he had in bottom gear. I guess now he can stop himself from falling. Take off your stuff. Alright, well now he's got all the poop in the world. Let's
tell me the way of things.
So now he needs to kill the Rat Vanguard, right? Or is it the Royal Rat Guard? I forget which one this one is. Because there's two rat bosses. One of them is infinitely more frustrating. This is called the minimum poop to toxic. The MPTT. Do you have enough health though? Like, especially these guys are hitting you, and also you're building up Petrify, right? Oh my god, minimum poop to kill. Let's talk strategy instead. Rat math sucks. Yourself. Scratch that, I can't get shit. Yeah, you don't have enough throws. Oh! Oh! Legend of Gunslinging is going great, yep. Gargoyles don't work either. Too pressing when you'll die. Too passing you don't get enough, right? You don't have enough time because their resistance, you run out of poop, yep. And petrified. Oh, hey, the poop at least knocked that down. That's good. Okay. Oh my god. I hate this game. Down to the giant. Oh! Petrified, son. Oh my god. Poise, defense, and mobility. What I'm about to do. Let's show us your fashion. We go Havel Jester. Checkpoint, okay. His music choice is always esoteric as shit. Always. But it's great. Running out before phase 2.
Humans would rule the lands lapped by the sun's rays, and rats all that was below.
Oh wait! Do the one
They
trick.
broke their word,
Lobos Jr.
hunted
did
us
it.
down.
Did you
Liars
drop
and
some by the door?
schemers and cheats.
Did you drop some by the door?
The insolent
That's the question I have for you.
trample upon our burrows. Thou art a fool to show thy face here.
Yeah! That's spare poop outside. It's what Lobos Jr. would do to try and do the challenge run where it was consumables only Dark Souls 1. He needed multiple people to join his game and drop items at the door.
Trample upon our burrows.
And then fuck off, because if they were in the game when he went through the door, if you went through the door with those people in your world, it actually increases the boss resistance. You wouldn't be able to do it. But he needed everybody basically to drop max items at the doors so he could grab them.
Adieu, sweet burrow.
He fucking did it. Oh my god, all of this just so he could streamline the poop pipeline. Upstreaming. We're streamlining the poop pipeline. Came and shit. Minimum poop to kill is only 6. Wow. Suit of armor. Check. 3 suits of armor. Just gotta be careful about getting run up on. Oh, he is quite resistant. Okay, that's fair. Nice. Are you actually gonna be able to kill? Good throw. No scope poop for the shortcut. Are you actually gonna be able to kill the dragon though? Oh, or you just let the poison fight ready. Gablon deal. Gablon wheel. Gablon deal. Send the godhood using rat shit? Is that what he said? Hang on. Hey, wait. We now send the godhood using rat shit. Alright. So why did you need to poison yourself? You're naked. Confirm on death. Whose legs? I just realized. Oh my god. Technically not infinite, yeah, because you use, as I said, poops to use poop. Grab the poop stick. Harry walk and poison yourself. Nice. Now it's infinite. Also works with items. Consumables. We no longer trade with souls. Time is the only constraint. incredible. Let's do the 1 million. Okay. Do a bit of trolling, alright? Do not pop a seed in the dragon shrine. Poison in 3. Nice. Do you have enough time with all the ticks? At least you have enough time.
Your soul is still free.
Bap. Oh god, it's all getting out of hand. You can still use items during Wi-Fi. Nice. Oh. Whoa, dung be upon your crotch. Ew. Oh, wow. Yeah, no kidding, been annoying to hit. Okay. Boobies. What the hell is this? Wow, that's a cheap way to do it. Okay. Six, 7, 8, 9, uh-oh, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13 poops. Right in the face. Oh no, the semen of dawn! No! I was gonna say, are you gonna try and do the king? Victory achieved. The rat was the hardest boss, yep. He did it!
Miroir du temps,
He did it with his stinky poop fingers! He did
nos
it!
histoires s'allient.
All it took was his stinky poop fingers and he did it!
Deux mondes se décident.
Oh my goodness.
Dans les
Yampa's fucking goat. He really is. What fantastic videos. So much fun. His gun-only Bloodborne is still one of my favorites, by far, of all time. Bottom Gear is another favorite, but it's too long. I've watched it many times, but it is way too long. Oh, yeah, that was How to Poop Only, Dark Souls 2. Mm-mm. Oh wow, I didn't realize this Bloodborne Gun Only was also his most popular one. 8.5 million views. Damn. How to Bow Only, Dark Souls 3. I don't know if I've watched that one before. I've done Bow Only Dark Souls 1. That was one where I was like, fuck Gwen times 20. Holy shit. Because you have to get Gwen in a specific cycle to do Bow Only Gwen. Because he's a pain in the ass. He has dodges for ranged attacks. I don't know, chat. Let's do one more. Let's do Yampha's Bow Only Dark Souls 3. I don't think I've seen this one, which is surprising. Oh, well, crossbow, yeah. It does dog shit damage! Ah! Yeah, it shoots fast, but good luck on the damage.
It's time to kick gum and chew ass.
Average bow build.
What the fuck?
What the fuck? Damn. Full auto 50, and that's what it was. Yeah, he's using the bow glitch. Feed for the master key. Wait. Kill.
Nice.
Wow.
What?
He was one arrow short. Never mind, arrow stuck. One arrow short. Oh, one arrow in reserve. Woo! Better damage. But don't you get like the... Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't there a rolling attack for the bow, or is that only in Elden Ring? I feel like there was a quick... The reason you would use the short bow is because I feel like there was a quick attack with the short bow. Oh, take care, Hoodie Man. Watch out, watch out, watch out!
I want to die.
Oh my god. The one I have problems with is Dancer. Dancer the Boreal Valley.
Hello, you're back.
For whatever reason, it short-circuits my brain.
Well, now it's time I do my part.
Nope, you should do the jump, right? Yep. Parkour up. I think everybody does that jump now. That's like the bog standard start of any Souls run, is doing that jump. The tree stump jump. The bow zone.
Heavens, she was already dead. I was thinking might as well fetch some weapons or treasure for you.
Nice, Mary.
Thank you.
Back to not dead settlement. Nice.
Who are you?
Yeah, that's fair. I'll just forget.
I help anytime.
Like, her attacks and fluidity just hurt my brain for whatever reason. Oh.
Fuck.
Fuck. Follow the.
Don't disappear like that. You had me downright worried. Should have waited.
He'll be fine. Big Cat Logan. Oh my god. That's a great way to call him Christmas age.
You there! Stop! You dare oppose the might of the Imperial Legion?
Undefeated since 2015. Oh my god. Oh no, you don't. Up and up we go. This one, you shouldn't think it'd be that hard to fight. For whatever reason, I fuck up on him all the time. I've killed him hundreds of times, and I still fuck up on him. I'm just like... Ah, here we go. Maximum damage. This is the old classic. This is what I was listening to in Battlefield 1942.
Oh,
Good for one hit.
You've come at a good time.
There you go, more damage. Ah! Boop. Hit my night-night button. Boop. Oh my god. That pose.
Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
You just have to worry about the fire delay, that's it. Yeah, look, there is a quick attack on the light deposit. I knew it! Into the bone zone. Can you shoot her with an arrow? Uh-oh! I didn't think you could! Spooky, scary skeletons down my spine. Look at all them woofies. Look at all them woofers.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time. Huh? What?
Huh? What?
Hey, I did it. What is logic? Who cares? Let's go. Still Solaire, right?
What is wrong, unkindled one? Are you not a Lord Seeker? Head to whatever this is about.
Fucking dancer, whatever reason, her fucking attacks mess me up. That was a fucker moment. That's for sure. Oh my god. Let's fill the chunks! Get him! Tasty. What's that?
I see your kind. Time and time again.
Oh, I hate it, Wilhelm.
Man.
What's that audio? That audio's fucking great. Ow! Fuck! No. Ah! That foam with heels. Oh my god. Oh! Hate that weapon art. Oh yeah, Mr. Krabs. Oh yeah, Mr. Krabs. Nice, for plus 10. Get a little nostalgia after I completed high school playing Bloodborne while listening to Stag. Wow. Oh, this should be miserable. This should be fun. Yeah. Oh. Another one.
Ah, look at the top of his head. Oh no.
Oh no.
And another. What was that noise?
What was that noise? Oh my god. I can't believe I never watched this one before. We're only, what, 7 years late? No, 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 no! Can you do the infinite stun lock in phase 3?
Fight!
Ah, can't be stun locked. Rolling, 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 rolling. Goodbye, keep rolling, rolling, rolling. Well done. Absolutely well done on that one. That's a fight I have so many problems with. That's still such a fun drop, too. It's such a tease. Run! I remember when they weren't nerfed. Oh my god. Thank god these things were nerfed. This is such a fantastic boss theme, by the way. This is King K. Rool's theme. Some kinky armor. Oh my god.
Damn, boy, he did.
Oh. Oh, well. Play defensively. Yeah, you don't want to fuck with fireballs. That one's always brutal. Stop shooting a fucking laser! Does the laydown trick still work in Ring City? I don't remember. Does the laydown trick for those archers still work?
No one cares about any of this. And skip.
And KKK first. Healing boss. That's brutal. Yeah, two and two together.
Huh?
Penetration.
What?
Mm-hmm. I hope you have enough munitions, though. Good lord. Please don't do KK on heel. Nice. Nice. So I want to see how he's going to do Gale. Get.
Hand it over, that thing, your dark soul.
Okay. Oh.
What the?
Where you got that line claw? Okay.
Please, whoever you are, touch me.
Get back in the kitchen.
Bring tower key. A hell of a death sound. I've never killed him.
By the gods, curiosity is gonna kill you, kitten.
He's done this.
You're alive.
Filthy arrows. Bunch of filthy arrows. $30 arrows or more? Oh my god. Good luck.
So uncivilized.
Yep. Always assume 3. That's always the best. If they can do a certain number, you can always assume the maximum number, just for safety's sake. I want to make a RPG in my setting someday. And roll damage. Boop. Great arrows and bolts. Okay, at the same input. Go on left hand. Crossbow on the right. Drop the crossbow, straight bow. Step. Forward and weapon art.
Holy shit, a mold.
Oh fuck. That bosses, they're not fast enough. And that's how it's done. And that's how it's done, everybody. Hope everyone taking notes. Those are two fun, fantastic videos. I'm shocked I didn't watch that before. I would have sworn I watched that before. Yeah, no, that was Yamfa, YMFAH, with how to make a bow-only build in Dark Souls 3. Bow in air quotes. Because, well, obviously, he did some shenaniganry. But still. Chat, I want to say thank you all so much for tuning in. It's greatly appreciated. I enjoy these days of just like chilling and relaxing. Oh, and $10 from Idico the Tricky. Holy shit. Want to join me and Cree on Left 4 Dead 2? When? When did it go? I don't even know if I have Left 4 Dead 2 installed anymore. The fucking pagan thing just put a huge bad taste in my mouth. Yeah, I don't have it installed anymore. When Kree is ready? Oh. Sure, I guess. I'll have to reinstall it. So I'll just have to play modless. Other than, obviously, y'all would have to give me any, maps or anything. But yeah. In the meantime, chat, take care. Fantastic day. Stay safe and healthy. Get figure ripped. And I will see you back here tomorrow. Remember, for Saturday Showtime, we will be watching the movie Goat. And we'll have to see if it actually is or not. But yeah. Bye for now, everyone.